our parades, our houses of worship, or our schools.
Dozens of people boarding buses from Highland Park in Chicago traveling to Springfield for the rally. For Noelle Vaughn, it was an emotional event coming 6 months and 1 day since the Highland Park Parade mass shooting that she personally witnessed and that still haunts her.
I'm hoping that my presence here will help at least illustrate it so people can try to understand. I hope no one else has to go through what we went through.
Lawmakers working on modifications to the bill in order to gain enough votes to pass it. They only need a simple majority.
There's a lot of people behind the scenes that are trying to prevent this from happening. They're trying to just water down the bill. We need your action. We need you to contact your legislators right now.
In addition to banning the sale of assault weapons, lawmakers are considering raising the age to obtain a FOID card from 18 to 21. But whatever form the final bill takes, gun rights groups are vowing to challenge it in court. Advocates pointing to numerous recent mass shootings, calling for action before the end of the lame duck session.
The evidence is clear that the time is now. Highland Park has waited long enough. Garfield Park has waited long enough. Aurora has waited long enough.
If the House can reach and pass compromise legislation tonight, the Senate would then be able to take up the matter in the morning with the hopes of passing something to send to the governor before they adjourn at noon. At the Capitol in Springfield, Craig Wall, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
All right, Craig, thanks so much. Right now we are taking a live look outside over the Chicago River at 33 degrees right now. And Rob, I'll tell you, I definitely can feel the difference outside from days past. It felt cold out there.
Yeah, Larry was saying it's damp cold, and you can certainly feel it. He also did some repair on his coat. I saw you two in the makeup room, and Larry's sewing. Did it work?
And you know, the thing is, I was like, Larry, can I help you? He was like, no.
I know, I asked him
My mama
that.
tove me how to sew, and I love it.
He's getting his mic fixed.
I know, I'm all discombobulated here.
It happens. I've had that. One time I bent over and my pantsuits, they split right now.
Yes.
It was the worst thing in the world.
Yeah.
So we know it's happened, but he can sew like you said, Sam, and it looks good.
Yeah.
Right? Is it working?
So this button right here popped right off.
Yeah.
So it was right after the 6 o'clock news. I was walking off the set, poop, popped right off. And I was
Okay.
like, no.
It seems to be holding now.
Yeah.
A man of many skills.
I'm telling you, I wish I had a picture. I was laughing seeing it, but you did good.
I did.
And like Samantha said, it felt chilly today.
Yeah, and you know, temperatures stayed right around freezing through the entire day, and we had these flurries and light snow showers at times. It was certainly damp outside. Humidity levels, you know, not terribly high, but compared to the temperatures, the humidity levels is up there right now, so it feels a little damp and just kind of chilly outside. There are still some snow showers coming down, some light flurries here over in parts of northwest Indiana. Nothing really heavy. Another batch of some light snow around Pontiac, and then also to the north and west, a little batch of light snow. This will continue for the next couple of hours, but as we get closer to midnight, the activity will start to wind down. Our big storm that brought us the snow the past couple of days and the snow flurries as well, now pushing off towards the east. You can see on Futurecast how a lot of the activity kind of wanes after midnight. I still can't rule out some flurries, even some drizzle tomorrow morning. Temperatures will be in the upper 20s as we start the day. Then we'll climb into the low 30s with the prospects of some hints of sunshine during the afternoon tomorrow. Don't get your hopes up. We're not going to get a lot, but we might get a few peaks of sunshine during the afternoon tomorrow. More sunshine in the forecast for the weekend. We'll talk about that coming up.
All right, Larry, we like sunshine. Thank you. Now to the chaos on Capitol Hill today as Kevin McCarthy fights to be Speaker of the House.
He's lost 11 rounds of voting, and as that 11th round started, Matt Gaetz formally nominated former President Trump for House Speaker. Mark Rivera shares the details from this third day of voting on Capitol Hill.
I vouch to my community that Kevin will do as he was promised. He will give us the opportunity to right the course.
Florida Republican Congressman Brian Mast nominating Kevin McCarthy for Speaker on day 3 of disarray for House Republicans. 20 Republicans bringing the House to a grinding halt, unable to unify with more than 200 others to elect a Speaker of the House. McCarthy gaining no new support today while simultaneously making major concessions.
We need to get to a point where we start evaluating what life after Kevin McCarthy looks like. America doesn't want more talk. They want action.
Lauren Boebert and 19 other Republicans refusing to budge, a minority holding the Republican Party and the country hostage.
We will not be able to fight the real conservative fights until we find a way to come together.
Because this impasse has real implications for everyone in the nation. There's nothing the House can do until a speaker is elected. No House members can be sworn in. No new laws or emergency legislation can move forward. Lawmakers don't have security clearances for sensitive committees. President Biden is at a loss for words to describe the situation.
Following with great, how can I say it? Attention.
Mark Rivera, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
Just in the last 2 minutes, it looks like the House has adjourned for the evening. This House Speaker election's been historic in many ways, and as Mark mentioned, the House can't get to work without a speaker. And joining us tonight, Professor Stephen Caliendo from North Central College. Professor, great to see you. Thanks for your time tonight.
It's good to see you too.
I have like 100 questions for you.
Let's do all of them.
Yeah, right. First, explain what the heck is happening.
Well, I mean, it's in some ways it's simple mathematics. In other ways, it's complicated politics. You have a very slim majority for the Republicans in the House of Representatives, but the rules say that you need to have a majority of votes to elect a speaker, not simply a plurality. And there are 20 Republicans over the last 3 days who have refused to endorse Kevin McCarthy, who was the presumptive speaker for this position. So we're 11 votes in at this point, I believe, and still nobody with a majority.
So what needs to happen? Simply a majority needs to vote for Kevin McCarthy for him to become speaker?
Or they need to agree on somebody else, or they can change the rules so that it's simply a plurality. That would be an interesting move because it would force those 20 to decide if they want to have Hakeem Jeffries, who's been the Democrats' nominee, or if they want Kevin McCarthy. And so it's really about calling a bluff if they want to try to change the rules and do it that way. But it's quite a gamble.
This is Speaker of the House of the U.S. Representatives. This is an incredible position. Why are Republicans, in your opinion, so divided? They take back control of the House, they can elect a speaker, and they can't even. Why is that even happening? You would think they would be able to come to an agreement and have someone already.
You know, it's kind of a different world. Of the 20, they're not unified in the reasons why they don't want Kevin McCarthy. For some of them, it's personal. They just don't like him. They don't trust him. For others, there are specific things that they were hoping to get. But he's been giving those folks lots of things, not just over the last 3 days, but over the weeks since in November when we knew that the Republicans would have a slim majority in the House. And they keep getting what they're asking for and then asking for more stuff. And so McCarthy's folks are not backing off, and they keep having votes over and over again. But these 20, for various reasons, are holding up the process, and they believe that they're emboldened by their constituents at home to do just that.
Florida Representative Matt Gaetz today, if people have been following this closely, maybe not a huge surprise, he nominates former President Trump. And I think a lot of people are like, can you even do that? Can you explain that? Because it is possible, right?
That's correct. You do not have to be a sitting member of the House of Representatives to be Speaker of the House. I'm hoping if this goes long enough, perhaps I will get a nomination at some point. Maybe you will too. Maybe my 12-year-old kids will get nominations. It's really gotten to the point where there was no question that was going to be a serious candidate. But neither have the other Republicans that have been nominated over the past 3 days. None of them got more than 20 votes, and they knew that was what was going to happen. So these are symbolic in lots of ways. Certainly, nominating the former president was a symbolic move. It's not serious. And but the holdup is serious, and so we're gonna have to wait and see how it shakes out.
Because no one can be sworn in, right? I mean, this brought the House of Representatives to a standstill. They cannot govern until a speaker is chosen.
Every one of the House members, the 434 House members, because we had one death in Virginia before January, 434 members are all members elect. They're not sworn in. They're not members of the House at the moment. So until they get a Speaker of the House and they can organize themselves, they can't do the swearings in. And that's been a problem too, because lots of the new members in particular brought their families down, took kids out of school, etc. This is a very ceremonial sort of thing, and they haven't been able to get that done either.
What do you think happens for this to come to a conclusion?
Man, I've been trying for 3 days to figure out what's going on and how it's going to happen. I wish I knew, but I will tell you this: the speeches that I heard just before we got on air tonight from the folks who were represented in that 20 were belligerent. Now, whether or not that was for show or whether or not it was authentic, they are not having any indication whatsoever that they're going to vote for Kevin McCarthy. Remember that he can only lose 4 Republicans. So all but 4 Republicans have to vote for him, or he doesn't become Speaker of the House, unless some Democrats would vote for him, and they haven't shown any signs that they're willing to do that, and we can understand why.
And next time we speak with you, do you think Kevin McCarthy will be Speaker of the House, or it will be someone else?
I do not. I don't see what the path is at this point. Even the most ardent McCarthy supporters are saying that there's somewhere between 6 and maybe even up to 8 of those 20 who will never vote for Kevin McCarthy. Now, you never say never. Who knows what other things, but I don't know what else there is to give out. I don't know whether other deals could be made. There's simply too slim of a majority and too many folks in that caucus that are upset with Kevin McCarthy for him to have a path. Unless some magic can happen, but it didn't happen last night, it didn't happen the night before, and it didn't happen all during the day between votes. So I don't know what more can happen this evening.
Professor Stephen Caliendo from North Central College, your insight and simplicity breaking it down for us, greatly appreciate it. It's good to see you.
It's good to see you too. Have a great night.
You as well. So we'll see, Samantha, if we're talking to the professor again tomorrow or the next day about maybe not having a Speaker of the House.
That's right.
And it's history. That's what's incredible is we're witnessing this historic moment as they continue to vote. It's just something we have not seen in more than a century.
That's right, more than a century, and it has been a wild last few days, and we'll see what exactly is going to happen tomorrow if anything changes. President Biden announced today he's expanding a program to accept up to 30,000 migrants per month from Cuba, Haiti, Nicaragua, and Venezuela. The plan also includes expelling migrants under Title 42, a controversial Trump-era policy that blocked thousands at the U.S.-Mexico border.
If you're trying to leave Cuba, Nicaragua, or Haiti, or have agreed to begin a journey to America, do not just show up at the border. Stay where you are and apply legally from there. Starting today, if you don't apply through the legal process, you will not be eligible for this new parole program.
Now, President Biden also unveiled plans to visit El Paso on Sunday, his first stop at the U.S. southern border as president.
Large number of migrants arriving at the border led some southern states to start busing them to other states, including here in Illinois. An effort to house them at a former elementary school in Chicago's Southside Woodlawn neighborhood is drawing opposition. Race and culture reporter Will Jones takes a closer look at the controversy.
Some Woodlawn residents speaking out about a city proposal to house migrants from the Texas border at a vacant CPS building at 64th and University. They say the neighborhood is already dealing with the lack of resources.
We're struggling right now to make Woodlawn an affordable, mixed-income community. While I would love to help immigrants and everybody else, I'd like to help my own first.
We are not anti-immigrant. We are pro-Woodlawn.
Woodlawn resident Jennifer Maddox is challenging Alderwoman Jeanette Taylor in the 20th Ward race. Taylor claims she wasn't included in the initial discussions about housing the asylum seekers at the former Wadsworth Elementary School building.
So literally you're making decisions about a building in my community without the person who's elected to represent the people.
But Taylor says she was notified yesterday by city officials that the plans to move the migrants into this building have been put on hold while they gather community input.
So that's been my issue. You don't impose things on us. You wouldn't do this in Lincoln Park or High Park.
Baltazar Enriquez with the Little Village Community Council says he understands the concerns of Woodlawn residents. He believes the asylum seekers would be better served near people who understand their culture and language.
Our community is a welcoming community for immigrants. This is one of the largest Mexican-American communities, so we know how it feels. So our team is ready.
Enriquez says city officials need to do a better job of reaching out to grassroots organizations like his that have been helping the migrants restart their lives in Chicago. From Little Village, Will Jones, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
Thank you. New at 7, we are hearing from workers at Howard Brown Health as they wrap up a 3-day strike. Nurses at the LGBTQ+ health organization say they're protesting unfair labor practices. Dozens of workers were laid off last week.
I want no more layoffs. I feel like I've lost my job last Friday. Even though I still have my job, I feel like I am unemployed with all my colleagues. I do not see myself going back to work and not seeing their faces there.
The president and CEO of Howard Brown Health says staff reductions are necessary to close a $12 million budget shortfall.
2 postal workers were robbed today at gunpoint while delivering mail here in Chicago. One of them returned to his route at 117th and Halsted to finish his work. Mr. Bob, as he's known, didn't want to speak to us on camera, but said it was the scariest moment he's ever had on the job.
The great concern for our letter carriers for the safety. No one should have to work and be in fear of their lives while performing their duties at work.
Female letter carrier was also robbed this morning, less than a mile away from the one involving Mr. Bob. Postal workers calling on the city to provide more patrols and surveillance to keep them safe.
Mexican authorities have arrested Ovidio Guzman. He's a high-ranking member of the Sinaloa drug cartel and the son of notorious drug lord El Chapo. This happened in a pre-dawn military operation outside Culiacan in western Mexico. Guzman was previously arrested in 2019, but released on government orders to avoid further bloodshed. His recapture comes just days before a North American Leaders Summit in Mexico City next week, which President Biden plans to attend.
4 women were hurt in a rollover crash this afternoon in the West Loop. Chicago police say the driver of a Jeep headed eastbound on Washington tried to make a left turn on a northbound canal when it struck a car. Car rolled over, hitting 2 people. The 2 women in the car and the 2 pedestrians were all taken to hospitals.
A family is outraged tonight after a man accused of murdering a South Chicago Heights woman is free tonight because of an Indiana detention law. Jessica Flores was found murdered in Gary nearly 4 years ago. As Michelle Gallardo reports, a judge released the suspect due to the state's failure to provide him with a speedy trial.
A South Chicago Heights family's loss and anguish is being brought to the surface once again as they continue their long wait for justice for Jessica Flores, a mother of 6 who went missing and was later found murdered in Gary nearly 4 years ago.
I have her messages on the phone. I still have her voice. I still have her singing to me. I miss her so much.
Standing outside the Lake County Courthouse this morning, family and friends could not contain their outrage as they watched Drew Carter III, the man charged with Flores' murder, walk into court a free man after being released on his own recognizance a few days ago.
We received an email stating that Drew was going to be getting released.
It feels like negligence, and just that in itself, it's a miscarriage of justice, him not having an ankle monitor or any other conditions, and he's just roaming free.
Carter was released because under Indiana law, if a case isn't brought to trial within 180 days, the defendant has a right to be released while they wait. Carter, who was first charged in March of 2019, remained behind bars for much longer than that, even after the original murder charges were dropped. That is because of a separate weapons charge that required him to remain locked up until recently when he became eligible to post bond. Prosecutors refiled the murder charges, but still, there's no trial date.
We were actively preparing to go to trial in September of 2019. They dismissed it 2 weeks before. So as far as why the state elected to go that route, you'll have to ask them.
A spokesperson for the Lake County Prosecutor's Office today said they cannot comment on pending cases. But attorneys for Drew Carter tell us they expect a trial date will be set during a court hearing that has been scheduled for next week. In Crown Point, Indiana, I'm Michelle Gallardo, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
We are seeing new video today of a dramatic crash last month on the Indiana Toll Road in Hammond. We reported this story on December 2nd when that UPS tractor trailer crashed, then got wedged dangling between the east and westbound bridge decks. Well, look at this. Today, Indiana State Police released dash cam and body cam video what troopers saw when they first arrived on the scene. At one point, you see a trooper running to that median, then looking down at that hanging truck. Amazingly, the truck driver, was able to free himself before the truck caught fire, and he suffered non-life-threatening injuries. Incredible.
The owner of a business in Chicago's Bridgeport neighborhood showed up at her cafe yesterday and found it covered in racist graffiti. Leah Hope talked to the owner of Cook It Mama Cafe on 31st Street, now responding to this hateful crime.
In a neighborhood now a mix of Asian, Latino, and Italian, a Bronzeville entrepreneur thought this Bridgeport spot would be the perfect place to offer her spicy soul cuisine. But yesterday, she doubted all that.
It was sickening, and it was
my stomach just dropped.
She found racist graffiti on her windows, walls, and over the colorful mural she commissioned. The message, BLDM, which she understood to mean Black Lives Don't Matter. Blakely opened in September. She understood Bridgeport had a history of racial conflict, but she thought things had changed.
And I hope that this situation helps any other business. Hey, something like this happens to you, you don't sweep it under the rug. You don't let them forget about it. You make sure you let everybody know. It's not all right. It's not okay.
It's still out there, and I think we have to deal with that, right? So, and this is how we do that. We call attention to the things that have that are wrong.
Some hearing about the graffiti went out of their ways to show support today.
I thought we were more progressive, I guess, and it's really disappointing to see that there's people that are still vandalizing over having a person of color here when the neighborhood is changing, so it doesn't reflect that.
Just kind of trying to show that support, show that love, and kind of keep lifting people up. It's obviously not only going to help, but maybe encourage more people to do so and kind of rid this.
I'm very thankful for everybody pouring in their love and support and kind words for me today. I really needed it. You guys don't know how much you have lifted my spirit from yesterday.
Blakely plans to open next Wednesday, and from the looks of it, she will be busy. In the Bridgeport neighborhood, Leah Hope, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
Nice that she has support from others. Signs of progress coming up. Doctors give an update on Bill's safety. Damar Hamlin, that's ahead. It's pretty incredible.
Plus the need for blood and how you can get involved in the Great Chicago Blood Drive.
And the matriarch of the Bears celebrates a milestone birthday.
We are taking a look outside now over the Chicago River. 33 degrees out there, just above freezing. And yeah, it certainly feels cold, but it sounds like we're still kind of right where we should be, or maybe a little above where we should be this time of the year. Is that right, Larry?
Yeah, 32 is our average high.
Okay.
So
Right there.
just a few degrees above it today. And really for the past couple of days, we've been above average. And when you look ahead to the next 7 days, every day is going to be above average. No, not a lot above average, but it's going to be warmer than 32 degrees each afternoon for us. Tomorrow, we'll get some more drizzle and flurries in the morning, but some hints of sunshine in the afternoon. Don't get too excited. It's not going to be a lot of sunshine, but there may be some peaks of sun in the afternoon tomorrow. I do think we'll get more sunshine on Saturday with high temperatures in the mid-30s, and then partly sunny on Sunday with highs in the upper 30s. So at least the opportunity is there for more sunshine than what we've seen recently over the past several days. Right now we're sitting in the mid to low 30s. It's 33 degrees officially at O'Hare under cloudy skies. Winds are pretty light out of the west at 8 miles per hour. Everyone's right around 31 to 33 degrees. These temperatures will drop off into the upper 20s overnight tonight, so it's possible we could have some slick spots on some of the untreated roads. Once we drop to about 28, 27 degrees, that's when you sometimes get some of the icy spots to occur. There's still a little light snow flying out to the west, down to the southwest and parts of northwest Indiana. Still some flurries coming on by. Nothing really happening in the city right now, but you see a little batch of light snow from Dwight down into Livingston County, and then a little stretch of snow just now moving into Kane County, rolling out of DeKalb and up towards, say, Bigfoot and over towards Harvard. You're getting a little light snow to come down. Very, very light snow. but our system is starting to pull away from us. This is kind of the back edge of the system. There's another little piece of energy right here, which will probably be with us first thing tomorrow morning. That will be enough to squeeze out some drizzle and some flurries for us as we start the day tomorrow. Temperatures are quite a bit colder back to the north and west. It's 0 in International Falls, 21 in Minneapolis. We're really not going to tap into that colder air. In fact, overnight tonight, we'll only drop into the upper 20s. See some of those lingering snow flurries and showers later this evening. First thing tomorrow morning, some spits of drizzle and maybe some flurries as we start the morning. Then as we go through the day, look at the clouds trying to break apart out to the west. It's possible we'll get a little bit of sunshine, at least away from the lake during the afternoon tomorrow. Along the lakefront here in the city, it'll probably stay mostly cloudy, and then we'll get a little bit more sunshine on Saturday. But tomorrow, temperatures right there in the mid to low 30s throughout the entire day. Kind of identical temperatures to what we had today. 34 was our high, 32 the low. There are the averages, 32 and 20 for today. So our little system's moving away from us. That big storm on the west coast continues with rain and mountain snows. The next wave of energy coming towards California is right there, and that's going to be another pretty powerful storm that'll bring soaking rains and mountain snows to California and even farther inland as well. Still flood alerts here for the Central Valley, and then the mountain snows continue with winter storm warnings in those areas. For us though, that low moves away. We'll see a little bit of break in the cloud cover at times tomorrow afternoon after morning flurries and drizzle, high of 35. On Saturday, I think we'll get a little bit more sunshine. We might have some clouds coming in off the lake though, but at least away from the lake, we'll get some sunshine again, a high of 37. This system stays to our south for the most part, but I can't rule out some flurries early Sunday morning, and then Sunday afternoon, we'll see a temperature in the upper 30s with partly sunny skies. Tonight, plan on some more flurries to slide on through, upper 20s. Can't rule out a few slick spots as well. Then tomorrow we're at 35, 37 Saturday, 39 on Sunday. Monday's going to be our warmest day up to 42. Then we drop off a little bit next week with a chance of snow coming back in on Thursday. But at least some days where we'll get some sunshine. Don't plan on a brilliant sunny day, but there'll be some peaks of sun at times.
We'll take it.
Even a little bit counts, Larry. Thank you.
Time of year, yep.
And a big happy birthday to Bears owner Virginia Hallis McCaskey.
She's 100 today. We're told she doesn't want a lot of fuss, just a quiet, small celebration with family. McCaskey's been the principal owner of the Bears for 40 years now. She's now just 3 years younger than the National Football League.
Isn't that something?
I mean, you think about her family history, and you think about how long she's been a part of Chicago Bears the whole time.
She's seen it all.
She's seen it all.
Yes.
Yeah. Tonight, new details from Prince Harry's memoir, including explosive allegations against his brother, Prince William.
Plus, a new hospital update from actor Jeremy Renner, recovering from a snowmobile accident.
First, prosecutors reveal more about the murder of 4 Idaho college students, including how they tracked down the suspect. A lot of new information today. We're learning more about the murders of 4 college students in Idaho.
The suspect appeared in court in Idaho today, and prosecutors revealed new details about the killings. ABC's Rena Roy has those and shares how police tracked the suspect down.
As quadruple murder suspect Brian Kohberger faced an Idaho judge on first-degree murder charges, prosecutors revealing chilling new details in the gruesome case that's gripped the nation. Authorities laying out what exactly happened in the overnight hours of November 13th when they say Kohberger stabbed Madison Mogen, Xana Kernodle, Kaylee Gonsalves, and Ethan Chapin to death. Court documents say a surviving roommate heard who she believed to be Gonsalves say there's someone here around 4 a.m. in their off-campus home near the University of Idaho. That roommate then hearing apparent cries from Kernodle's room and a man saying, "It's okay, I'm going to help you." She told investigators she saw a figure in black clothing and a mask walking toward her then leaving. She says she stood frozen and in shock, locking herself in her room. Officials say the murders happened fast between 4 and 4:25 a.m. with Kohberger, a criminology grad student nearby, making 4 passes by the house before going in. Cell phone data shows he visited the area of the home 12 times before the murders. At the scene, investigators discovering the sheath of the knife, collecting Kohberger's DNA, matching it to DNA found in the trash at his parents' home in Pennsylvania. Detectives also tracking down Kohberger's white Hyundai Elantra, which was spotted near the scene. Last week, authorities zeroing in on Kohberger at that Pennsylvania home, arresting him, then extraditing him back to Idaho. Gonsalves' family attorney speaking out today after Kohberger's court appearance.
And the family will be here for the long haul. And that's the statement for the media today.
Kohberger is being held without bail. He's due back in court a week from now. So far, there is no motive in this case. Rena Roy, ABC News, Los Angeles.
An emotional service today, a funeral service this morning for the late Pope Emeritus Benedict XVI. He was laid to rest before thousands of mourners, with Pope Francis presiding over the service. Now, this is the first time in modern history a current pope eulogized a retired pope. Cardinals and other religious leaders were there, including Cardinal Blaise Cupich.
Pope Francis gave beautiful remarks during his homily, recounting what the role of a pastor is, and in that way giving us an idea of how we should look upon Benedict. So it was a very solemn moment, but also one filled with gratitude for a man who served the church and society well.
After the Mass, Pope Benedict's coffin was taken to the crypts below the Vatican. His final resting place is the first tomb of John Paul II, which was vacated when he became a saint and was moved to a chapel inside the basilica.
Doctors are seeing positive signs in Bill's safety, Damar Hamlin. They've seen significant improvement in the last 24 hours and have been able to communicate with him through writing.
He asked, did we win? The answer is yes. Damar, you won. You've won the game of life.
First thing he asked him, or one of the first things, Hamlin's been hospitalized and suffering cardiac arrest during Monday's game. Doctors say there's still a long road ahead. This was positive news a lot of people needed to hear.
So many people are looking forward to this update. It's just truly a blessing.
Yeah.
Actor Jeremy Renner is giving fans another update from the hospital. He posted this video today of a relative rubbing his head. Renner was hurt in a snowplow accident a couple of days ago. He was using a plow to help a family member whose car had become stuck in the snow. When he got out, the plow began to roll and then he was run over. He's been posting on social media to give fans much needed updates, and of course so many people wondering how he's doing, and looks like he's in good spirits.
He's trying to stay in good spirits.
Yes.
Yeah. Prince Harry's memoir isn't set to be released until next week, but hit bookstores in Spain early. And now some details are being released. Harry reportedly says tensions with his brother, Prince William, escalated into a physical fight. Happened in 2019. Fight was about Harry's wife, Meghan Markle. In the book, Harry writes that William knocked him to the floor. It's one of several personal details Harry reveals in his book, Spare. ABC's Michael Strahan sat down with Prince Harry to talk about the book. Clips are being aired on Good Morning America this week, with much more coming on Monday. There will also be a half-hour special Monday night on ABC News Live and Hulu.
That will be a highly anticipated interview, and of course
Yes.
the book. Supreme Court Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson is working on a memoir. It's called Lovely One. The title comes from the English translation of her birth name. Justice Jackson is the first black woman to serve on the Supreme Court. She says she's had an unlikely journey. There's no release date yet set on that book.
There'll be a lot of history in that book.
Absolutely.
Live in history. It's almost time for the Great Chicago Blood Drive.
That's right. We are talking to the Red Cross about the need for blood, especially this time of year. We are less than a week away from the start of the Great Chicago Blood Drive. Every year, ABC7 partners with the Red Cross for a blood drive during a time when donations are most needed. Joining us tonight is Connie Esparza, Communications Manager with the American Red Cross. Connie, thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Thank you, Samantha. Thank you for the opportunity to be here tonight.
Absolutely. Now, Connie, talk about why blood donations are always needed, but especially in the winter.
Samantha, the need for blood is constant, whether the patients needed for surgeries or accident victims or those suffering from leukemia or sickle cell disease. What we know is that the need is constant, and at the Red Cross, our goal is to motivate and inspire our ABC7 viewers to come out, make an appointment, and donate. We've seen hundreds of appointments, thousands of units go uncollected due to inclement weather. Also, during this time, we see a decline in appointments because people are, fall ill due to a variety of different, whether it's the flu or RSV or whatever it is. And so we see the dip in numbers in appointments and we see those units go uncollected. However, we at the Red Cross supply 40% of the nation's blood supply, which means that we need to make sure that we're collecting 12,500 units on a daily basis. And we're so proud to partner with ABC7. And, in the past, ABC7 viewers have been so generous, and the number of first-time donors that have come out to support the blood drive has been overwhelming, and we anticipate and we're counting on that to happen again this year to help us make up for the shortages that we've seen because of the weather, because of illnesses.
And we certainly do have such generous viewers out there, so caring. Now, Connie, is there a greater need this year compared to past winters, and if so, why?
Well, as we know, Samantha, here at the end of December, we saw weather across the country affect many states, and we had to cancel hundreds of appointments, which obviously impact the number of units. And the prolonged weather incidents have also then put a strain on how many of those units go uncollected. So and that coupled with, still the lingering pandemic, and then add to that, recently additional issues with the flu, like I said, or the RSV or other things that have come up, sometimes put a pause on people showing up to their appointments.
And Connie, talk about the diverse need for donors. You are looking for diverse donors. Talk about who exactly you're looking for there.
Samantha, we're looking for diversity in donors of ethnicity, of blood types. It's extremely important that our O blood type donors out there come out strong. We'd like to see you at the blood drive next week, Wednesday and Thursday, because as we know, in moments of accident and moments of surgery, the O blood type is the first type that our physicians reach for, especially if they don't know the patient's blood type. Additionally, we invite our African American, our Latino communities to come out strong and support the blood drive, because we see those numbers are historically very low from those communities that come out to donate blood. And our Latino community does have a higher frequency of O blood types, negative and positive. So we're making that strong plea, and we're making that invitation to all donors of all, like I said, all ethnicities and all blood types to come out and support.
Certainly an important push there. Connie, statistics show that just 3% of people donate blood. Why would you say some people are nervous? Are there any misnomers out there, any misconceptions, and how can you ease those nerves?
Samantha, I've talked to very many blood donors, and when I've asked, especially the first timers, it's like, what took so long for you to come out and donate? Oftentimes what I hear is like, I never thought about it, or I'm afraid of needles, or I just don't have the time. And, we would like to share that, from start to finish, you're going to be in and out in under an hour. The time itself of the blood donation is 8 to 10 minutes. And it's painless, relatively painless. I think the longest part of the blood donation is that physical intake. But if you're feeling well, if you're well rested, you've had a great meal, a healthy meal, you're well hydrated, likely the chances are very high that you'll be able to donate on the day of the blood drive.
That is excellent. Well fed, well hydrated, feeling good. Go out there and donate some blood. Connie Esparza with the American Red Cross. Thank you so much tonight.
Thank you, Samantha.
And the Great Chicago Blood Drives runs. It runs from Wednesday and Thursday, so Wednesday and Thursday of next week. There are 7 locations where you can donate blood, and you can make an appointment and learn more on our website at abc7chicago.com. And still ahead, robots, color-changing cars, and helping pets talk. The new technology being shown off at a big event in Las Vegas. Larry.
Still a few flurries flying on Live Doppler 7 Max radar. Temperatures, though, still right around freezing. We'll have a few flurries overnight tonight, but then some peaks of sunshine as we head into the weekend. We'll talk about that coming up.
Pretty soon you may be able to get free Wi-Fi on board Delta flights. Starting February 1st, the airline plans to offer free Wi-Fi to members of its Sky Miles program. That's a free loyalty program. The Wi-Fi service will be available on most domestic flights.
A jury must decide if a fashion house's design looks too much like the Adidas logo. Take a look. Tom Brown uses 4 white stripes. It was originally 3, but then Adidas complained and the fashion house added a 4th. Adidas says the design is still too similar and thinks it could confuse customers. This case is currently being heard in New York. Tonight we're getting a look at more products from CES. We showed you some images last night. That's an it's just cool technology stuff.
Consumer electronics shop.
Yeah.
Always wanted to go. One of these days we're gonna get the station to send me out
next
there.
year.
That'll be fun. The big tech show is back in Las Vegas after the pandemic caused virtual and scaled down events. So maybe that's why I wasn't there. Right? These designs of the future include these robots. Take a look at that, which already are being used at airports in Cincinnati, Pittsburgh, and Rome. This newest model, called the Yeti, has a self-dispense feature which can deliver your items without you needing to actually go to it.
That would be okay at an airport when you're stuck, right?
Right, exactly. I'm trying to see how it works exactly, but look at me leaning over.
Right, these little, I don't know, little doors open up and you reach in and grab your item.
I guess so.
A BMW has done this for a little while. They're showing off this new concept car that changes color called the iVision D. That's DEE, short for Digital Emotional Experience. The idea is that the different area of the car can show different shapes and hues, kind of like expressions or emotions. They have this chameleon-looking car that will change the skin. It looks like white or black, and then it will change. It's available, it's out there. This is a new concept where different parts, like we see, look at that. So you could have your wheels turn a certain color, the windows turn a certain color.
Kind of like a mood ring.
Yeah,
but your vehicle.
And I think it would cost, if they ever make it, and you wonder if they will, it would cost a fortune.
Yes, it would. Yes, it would. And Fluent Pet is supposed to help your pets communicate with you. The system uses colors, coded tiles rather. You can record your voice into them, and your pets are supposed to push the button on the tile to tell you what they need. But I feel like my pet might abuse that.
What did you have? A cat, dog?
I have a dog.
Oh, do you think? I don't know. There was a dog that one of the networks did a story on that was so smart, or she's on like Instagram, that she'll hit different like that and tell her owner when she's hungry or wants to take a walk, and it's legitimate. That dog is brilliant.
See, I wouldn't mind my dog like ringing a bell when it's time to go to the bathroom, because let me know so you're not, you know, let me know.
Just ring the bell.
Just ring the bell, but no, my dog, he kind of just does what he wants to do.
Well, then he can tell you what he wants to do with that thing. He'd be like, feed me, Samantha.
Yeah.
You can hit that treat. But that would be worth, I think that'd be neat. Would we figure out what our dogs are saying? Maybe
or how they feel about you. Maybe we, at some point, you're getting on my nerves.
Right.
I can't stand you.
Yeah.
I don't like that dress. Stop with these candles. They're annoying me.
You're very opinionated dog. What's your dog's name?
Nugget.
Oh, Nugget.
Nugget Alexander.
Two-namer. What kind? I don't think I've seen pictures of him.
He's a little Maltese Yorkie. He's 9 pounds, and he's just running the house. He's running the show.
Tends to happen.
Yeah,
we have
the
Snoop.
small ones.
Snoop is 80 pounds. He's black lab.
I've seen Snoop.
Oh,
I remember you all got Snoop.
Oh man,
Snoop got big fast.
Yeah, it was incredible, Sam. He was like little, like Nugget, right?
Yeah.
And then now he's an 80-pounder, and he is just the most lovable dude in the world.
Oh.
He's so cute. They got to meet. We'll bring him in.
Snoop Dogg and
They
Nugget.
can talk to each other with these buttons.
So was Snoop named after the rapper?
He was.
All
Snoop Dogg.
right.
The kids named him, and you can't tell the kids. No, you can't. So whatever you want. He's adorable. We call him Snoopers. Snoopers, good boy.
Okay.
I had 2 well-known singers planning new albums. We have sneak peeks coming up.
A couple of well-known singers released teaser videos for their new albums today.
I get buttoned up, like my button like Larry can't come off. I'm ready, I'm sorry. Okay, Miley Cyrus announced Endless Summer Vacation. Here's a sneak peek.
We met each other on the neon dinghy, past the manta rays and palm trees.
Okay. We can only show you 8 seconds. That's like a good rule here on Stream Team. Cyrus describes the album as her love letter to Los Angeles. It comes out March 10th. The first single is expected out next week.
I'm really sure what to make of that tease. It's a little
right. It didn't sound much like music,
Yeah.
but we'll let Miley's album come out and then we can listen to it.
She's evolved over the years. You know, country, pop. She did a little rap even too at some point.
Yeah, she's kind of doing it on. That sounds like it's got a little bit of blend of some things. And the first single's out from Shania Twain's new album.
It's called Giddy Up.
Oh, is this some new moves we're gonna have to learn? Look at that.
All right,
I
a
guess.
TikTok, there you go. Twain's new album, Queen of Me, is set to come out February 3rd. She says Giddy Up was inspired by a phrase she said in the studio, just like Let's Go Girls kicked off her 1997 hit Man. I feel like a woman.
Oh, that's
a hit. That's still a hit.
It really is.
Like
yeah.
karaoke, like that's a go-to.
Yeah, it's got the beat. You can dance to it. You can sing. You can sing to
Let's
it.
go, girls. Oh, I love that song. I forgot about that one.
This one sounds like it might have a hook to it too, right? Get people to start dancing.
Yeah.
Giddy up. All right, when is
Giddy
that
up.
coming out? February. All right. Larry Lewis live in Texas. We were talking about this earlier. Were you doing a little lasso thing? Is that what it was?
Yeah, you know what? Larry and I, we both worked in Dallas,
So
the
really?
DFW area. That's right. And when I moved here, when I announced that I was coming here, I had a bunch of people like, is that Larry's station? Is that Larry's station? So they miss him.
I have a funny story. So I worked in El Paso, so quite far from, but I was in Dallas covering a story for us here at ABC7, and this guy comes up to me. I have the mic flag that says ABC, and he comes up to me and he goes, "Are you from Chicago?" Oh, yeah, and he's like, "You took Larry Mowry from us." This guy's like a legend down
He
there.
really is. I'm telling you, the Facebook messages, they were like,
Right.
"You got to meet Larry Mowry." I'm like, "Shoot, let me look him up. Let me
This
find
Larry
out."
guy. Yeah. We're
So-
hanging on to you now up here. You ain't going anywhere.
Yeah, well, it's been about 7 years since I've been in Chicago. I was in Dallas for 9 years, so yeah.
You glad you came?
I'm happy I'm came.
We're happy too.
Is the barbecue better there or here?
Oh.
We're not. We're not.
There are a couple really good barbecue
We have
places around
spots.
here, though. Yes.
The barbecue's better there. You know this too.
I know. Look,
Right, yeah.
look. I will say it all day long. The barbecue is better in Texas.
Yeah.
We
But
have our
there's-
little spots.
There's
but-
some good places here, really good.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Is there bad barbecue, really? I mean, if we're being, there's
Yeah.
sometimes.
There's some tough ribs. I've had some.
Chewy.
I had my ribs.
Are your ribs tough?
No, I can't make ribs. That's hard to do.
Oh,
It's hard to pull off.
I can't do it either.
No. All right. There you have it.
We got to get some barbecue. Now I'm hungry.
Right?
Oh,
It's dinner time.
Yeah. Hey, yeah, I want to show you the next 10 days because the average high this time of year is at 32 degrees. That's the average high. Now, every day of the next 10 will be a little bit above average. Not much, but mid to upper 30s on most days as we look towards January 15th. And I think on Monday of next week, we'll see a high up around 42 degrees. Right now, we're sitting in the low 30s. It's 33 at O'Hare. Winds are out of the west at 8 miles per hour. Everybody's in the mid to low 30s at the moment, so right around that freezing mark. And we still have some flurries showing up on Live Doppler 7 Max radar. A little batch of light snow back here around St. Charles, Batavia, Geneva, stretching up towards Huntley and out towards Woodstock right now, a few flurries. Also a little batch of snow farther to the south. So that's about it in terms of snowfall for us for the rest of the evening. Just a few flurries sliding on by. Nothing terribly heavy, but with temperatures that'll drop into the upper 20s tonight, there could be some slick spots on some of the roadways. This is kind of the last gasp of the system sliding on through. See how it's kind of spinning and still moving off to the east. Temperatures are in the low 30s here, a little colder to the west, but we're going to hold steady tonight with temperatures dropping into the upper 20s. Here on Futurecast, you can see 10 o'clock tonight, still some flurries around. First thing tomorrow morning, we could still squeeze out some flurries, maybe some drizzle as well, as temperatures will start in the upper 20s tomorrow morning. There's 8 o'clock. But as we go into the afternoon, I'm optimistic we'll get a little sunshine, at least to the west. Here along the lakefront in the city, it'll probably stay cloudy. But if you're in the far western suburbs, you've got the chance to get a little sunshine tomorrow. And temperatures tomorrow will be in the mid to low 30s for afternoon highs. So you can see the forecast tomorrow, just steady temperatures like we saw today. In fact, today we had a low of 32, our high temperature 34, just 2 degree spread from the morning low to the afternoon high. Average high is 32, average low is down to 20. So the big storm continues along the west coast and the next one's lined up. There's another one even farther to the west. This energy train of moisture heading into the Pacific Northwest and California will just continue really for the next couple of weeks. They've got more storms on the way. Still flood alerts there and some winter storm warnings still remain in the mountains. That's now spread over into parts of Colorado and Utah. They're getting some much needed mountain snows there. For us though, a little bit of sunshine in the afternoon tomorrow, at least away from the lake with a high of 35. We'll keep track on this system to the south for this weekend. Might bring some snow flurries our way Sunday morning, but outside of that, we're looking at a dry weekend. Tonight, a few flurries, some lingering snow showers, temperatures in the upper 20s. 35 tomorrow, 37 on Saturday, and we'll get up to 42 by the time we get to Monday. We're back in a moment.
Thanks so much for joining